Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Vicki Howie of ChakraBoosters.com, the creator of Chakra Boosters Healing Tattoos. And now in 2021, I'm also the creator of CirclingSpace.com. It's an online place where we can all gather to experience more authentic communication and connection. And since it's brand new, I have some freebies for you below to invite you to come and experience Circling Space with me. I do live circles 3 times a week. One in particular, you've seen me do a lot on video, which is tapping. I do tapping circles twice a week right now. And I would love to do interactive circles with you so that I'm not just here on this side of the camera, I'm actually with you and we're going through it together in the moment and allowing to arise whatever is needed to arise. So I hope to see you there. This week, I'm excited to talk to you about something I've been mulling over for quite a while now, an idea for a video, and I hope that it gels together pretty well, because sometimes I get these ideas and there's just so much coming in, I can't organize it. It's about the fact that we have upper chakras, which are represented mostly by spirit, the word spirit, and our lower chakras, which we would nickname body, right? The 3D world and our body. And the difference in how these two operate and the challenge in integrating them when we are moving through life, because they have very opposite agendas, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So we're going to ultimately look at my number one favorite tool for integrating these two. And I'm going to walk you through a beautiful exercise. And I already gave you a bit of a hint as to which tool I'm going to be using. So please join me at near the last part of this video to go through that process. It's going to be incredible because this process always heals right in that moment. Okay, so let's talk about this situation with our upper chakras and our lower chakras having different agendas. There's a few things I'm going to look at. Like I said, first I'm going to look at these 3 chakra abundance types I've created. I would like to send you to chakraabundance.com if you want a really in-depth understanding of these types and how you can bring more abundance into your life according to your type. Okay, but I'm going to give you a little summary of what they are, but realize there's a lot more in that audio, and it's a free audio, so go to chakraabundance.com if it interests you and you want to find out what chakra abundance type am I. You'll get a good hint through this, but I'd like you to really go find out what type you are. Okay, so we're going to look at the 3 chakra abundance types fairly quickly. Then I'm going to talk about how upper chakra and lower chakras have different agendas, what those are, how opposed they are, and then how we can integrate them. And then we're actually going to integrate them today. We're going to do some work in that direction with my favorite tool, my favorite transformational tool for this particular thing. So chakra abundance types, what is yours? Well, let me talk about the 3 basic ones that I've observed. After years, almost 20 years of teaching yoga, and then doing at the time 12 years of deep chakra work, and I've done more since then, I began to really notice that people would line up in different spectrums of where they like to live in the chakras. Now, you may be peppered in how you like to live in the chakras, okay? So this isn't every single person, but just see if this resonates for you or if a combination of these 3 types, like often people have 2 of them, and I'll explain how that works. But the 3 chakra abundance types are upper chakra dominant, lower chakra dominant, and split. Upper chakra dominant people are me. I have done a lot of work, so it's not as obvious now. I even have people sometimes call me grounded now, which is really interesting to me because root chakra has been throughout my life my chronically weak chakra, and I've really, really worked on it over the last 12 to 13 years, really strong. Even before that, but particularly the last 12 to 13 years. And upper chakra people are just the people that you see that seem to be off the ground. They seem to float. They're more spiritually oriented. They're quicker to move. They're more inspired. Sometimes we're called flaky because we're not as dependable, which is a very lower chakra, root chakra quality. And you can see I've been dependably putting out videos, so I've really been working on my root chakra over these years. But the feeling is, just get it as a feeling. It's an upward energy. And when you see someone of this type, they usually have what's called in Ayurveda, in Vata, a Vata body type, V-A-T-A, Vata, which is an air body type, which is a thinner body type. They look like a tower, like a thin tower with a signal, because the energy is going upward and there isn't so much grounded energy. Okay, not everyone fits this. The body types don't always match, but they often do. You may have, for instance, a different body type and then all the other signs, okay? So, yeah, that's how they look. And there tends to be, they're very, very open. They're very open to trust. They're very they have a lot of faith. They're faith-based, spiritually based, often psychic. Can you feel that? Okay, that's what you get with upper chakra dominant. Lower chakra dominant, and by the way, the upper chakra dominant, the strongest issue is anxiety. Anxiety comes from not feeling safe in the body, and the energy's going up, like, can you feel that? It's an kind of energy. That's anxiety. The lower chakra dominant people tend to be the opposite. Like you'll see in Chakra Abundance, I talk about the qualities and their opposites. So where the upper chakras are up here, the lower chakras are more dependable, steady. They're more into the material world. They like material things. They know material things. They're good about that. Like, since that's been a weakness much of my life, I really love when people are really good at that. They appreciate material things too. Like often their love language might even be gifts. Whereas an upper chakra person, it might be more third eye things of wanting to have an intuitive connection. Or at least touch for the upper chakra people, heart and above. So upper chakra people have anxiety. Lower chakra people, if it's really strong, will have depression. Can you feel that? And I like to use Pooh Bear's characters as an example. They come from my childhood. Tigger is upper chakra. He's always happy. He's woohoo, woohoo, and he's bouncing around and he's way up high. And Eeyore is, oh, just me. Here I am again. Like Eeyore is a low voice. And that the lower chakra people tend to be a little stockier than the upper chakra. They have more, not only do they love matter, but they tend to have more matter in their body or more of a relationship with matter. They can put on muscle. Like me, I can't put on muscle. Lower chakra people, I worked out with a woman who was a competitor, and I worked out with her for a year, and she really put me through the paces, and she would just laugh at me every day because I never quite could get the muscles. I just couldn't. And she could, because she had root chakra energy, even though she wasn't a big girl. She just was able to get that strength, that muscle, because strength is part of the root chakra. Can you feel that? So there's a wispiness to the upper chakra. There's a strength to the lower or loyal, longer, slower, deeper voices, more about matter, more about the unseen world. Okay, again, go to chakraabundance.com for more info on this. And finally, the third type is a split. The splits are the ones I call also affectionately big souls. They like to bounce back and forth between the upper and the lower, and it's like the two worlds won't integrate. And actually splits, if you're a split right now, you're going to get the most value of all out of what I'm going to do today, because integrating these two worlds is the biggest challenge for the splits. But you can change things the quickest because you actually know both worlds. Upper chakra dominant don't know the lower, and it takes a long time to build that lower chakra world. And lower chakra people don't tend to have easy access to the upper, even though it can change in a minute, right? Because the upper is very available, this plane. So Those are the 3 types. Now, the splits are known because the lowers will take their time to make a decision. The uppers will just make just what other people think are crazy decisions just on a whim. And the splits won't make decisions, can't make decisions. It's like, I have to put it off. I don't want to make a decision. And the splits will also be anxious sometimes and depressed at other times. The splits tend to feel a lot of that they need to do things for other people. Their heart chakra tends to be very, let me take care of you. And they have a tendency to not know what they exactly need and want. There tends to be a solar plexus weakness for the split chakra type. Okay, now there's much, much more about this on chakraabundance.com, but let's leave it at that for now. The reason I'm saying this is because I just want you to kind of feel into, where am I in my energy field, and how much time, how much consciousness do I put in living out of spirit? How much time and consciousness do I put in living in the 3D world? And how well do these 2 parts of me communicate? Which brings me to the next section, which is all about how our spirit and body, our upper chakras and our lower chakras, have totally different agendas. Let's start with the lower chakras. Do you know what the agenda of your 3-dimensional body is? Its agenda is homeostasis, staying the same, finding comfort in the known, living in habitual patterns. The body is most comfortable, the body itself is most comfortable when it's in patterns. The heart beats in a particular pattern. I suddenly have a heartbeat here in my hand. The heart beats in patterns. There's a certain blood pressure that works with your body. Our body constantly comes back to the same temperature, right? It's wanting to come back. When we're feeling ill or sick, it goes off of temperature, right? And then it strives to come back, and it always does come back. So the body is working to keep things the same. It wants to keep us safe. It's the part of us that wants to know what's going on, be comfortable, be with what we've already experienced. And it's the part of us that gets into habits, good habits and bad habits. You notice I'm using quotes because who's to say what habits are what? That's up to you. It's your life to create. But addictions, which we often call the things that are bad habits that seem to have the best of us, are when our will and spirit wants something different, but our body keeps staying in the homeostasis of a habit, the addiction, and our body is running us, meaning our body is overriding the will that actually wants to do something different. That's, to me, more or less a definition of addiction. And I think it's fascinating and something to just know. I actually have a video on addictions, and I will put that link down below as well. So what do you think is the agenda? I kind of gave this away a little, right? Because I talked about how opposite the body and spirit are in their longings, in their agendas. So what do you think? If the body wants homeostasis and to stay the same, what do you think your spirit longs for? Yes, of course, your spirit is longing, or your spirit is moving into and always wanting to move into expansion and change. The spirit is the part where energy is most free because it's not caught in the body in the 3D realm. So energy itself expands. We all know this. Energy expands. The universe expands. We are part of the energetic universe expanding. So our spirit expands. And when we feel inspired, we feel expansive. When someone inspires us, we want to expand. We want to go for it. We want more possibilities. Like even talking about it is making my body just, ah. So at the same time, I've got this body here. I might say, oh, I really want to try this new unknown thing. Whether it's learning how to do a particular practice like Qigong, or if it's jumping out of an airplane to experience flying or free fall. My body is going to have one response to that, which is, I don't think so. And unless you've got one of those bodies that you've really trained to be in love with change, your body's probably going to say, no, thank you. And your spirit's going to say, yes. So there's a whole lot of no and yes going on between our body and spirit. This is a year of 2021, when we're all about the first part where body and spirit meet, the throat chakra, which is where the first of the upper chakras begins. And the throat is inviting us to step into spiritual possibility. So that's why I think this is coming up right now this year. I've thought about this video for a long, long time. And we are going to do, if you'd like to join me, my favorite method for integrating body and spirit, tapping, also known as EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. Many of us feel captured or caught, even imprisoned by our emotions, because they take over our body, sometimes without us even being able to do anything about it. We may have a trauma or a trigger. And so thinking about a particular thing or a particular person or something about ourselves will bring up a particular emotion. This emotion, this trigger, is something that usually gives a vibration in our body that's negative, that we interpret as negative. And again, I'm just using quotes because it just feels in the body like off. There's a discordance. Well, the body, the spirit can accept these things. Like maybe I'm judging myself. The spirit part of me can actually just accept it and love it and forgive me. But the body might have all my mother's judgments in it. It may have all the other times I made this mistake in my life. Do you see? The body keeps record. The body keeps score. So the body is just feeling the judgment and adding to it. Well, if the spirit says, but I forgive you, to me, to myself, the spirit says it's all good. The spirit says it's all just part of being human. The spirit goes in stride, but the body doesn't shift when the spirit says these things. It can a little, but because their agendas are so different, unless the spirit is directly speaking to the body, often they're not even in the same room conversing. It's almost like a parent and a new teenager where their agendas don't match enough for them to even listen to each other. So the way we get the body to listen, the spirit can have the body listen to it, is by speaking the language, the energetic language of the body. What puts your body into a more energetically calm state is working on meridian points. And that's what we do in tapping. We tap on meridian points that calm the body. And here's the deal. If you've done any of my shadow work, if you haven't, I'm going to put the shadow playlist below because it's really good to do shadow work. I even do shadow work and tapping together, so I'll make sure that list is there. When we do shadow or tapping, we are seeking not to avoid the thing we're working with. We don't want to avoid it. We are seeking, we know that we are everything, that we are a slice of consciousness, the divine, however you want to look at it, and consciousness contains all. You take out a piece of a hologram and you shine a light and you get the hologram again. So we are the all. So rather than try to turn away, and that's what we're doing when our body gets agitated, when we're thinking a thought we don't like, it's actually our body trying to turn away from it. Tapping is a way for us to actually integrate it and to do so in a fashion that takes us from agitation to calm. And then by the time we're calm, our body has a new association with that belief, that idea, that thought, that emotion. Can you feel that? So that's what we're going to do today. So if you'd like to do it and you've never tapped, I'm just going to tell you, just kind of copy me. Just repeat after me. I'm going to go through these 10 tapping points, and you can go through any of them, all of them. Just stay on one of them if you feel like it, however you want to do it. Tapping, even, we're going to do karate chop points in the beginning like this, and just doing that the whole time will be very effective. It can be very effective. So I'll go through them if you like to copy. I think it's actually fun. We're going to do the crown tapping point. The eyebrow point right here at the beginning of the eyebrow, the side right here on like the bone part of the socket on the side, under the eye, so outer eye, under the nose, cleft, chin area here, right here. Then we're going to do the collarbone right out here. Or you can do this whole thing if you like this. Just pat your hands, which is really sweet. It's like you're touching your heart. Then we're going to do under the arm, like right for a woman where the bra strap would be. Okay, for a guy, you can imagine it. And then we're going to do what I call the wrist watches, where you cross over the point just a couple inches below the palm, or an inch or so below the palm, where you do this. And then we come back to where we're actually going to start, which is the karate chop point. That's where we're going to start with our setup statement. A setup statement in tapping is, even though blank. And in that blank, we're going to put the thing that we want to have healing around, the thing that agitates us, that we want to get calm around. And then we say, after blank, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So today, we're going to work with this idea of change versus staying the same. So we're going to say, even though I feel torn between changing, I want to get this exactly right, between changing in the way I want and keeping things the same. That's our phrase. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. It's a little longer than most that I've done, but I really want to play with these two parts of us. The one that really wants to change, change toward things I want, and the part of us that wants to keep things the same. Keep things the same. And I could say things like keep routine, but I want to speak in a language that our body really understands. Okay? And if we can bring these two together in tapping, which I believe we can, then it's going to really allow us to just move forward more casually at things in our life. Our body and spirit will be on the same page. Can you feel that? Okay, so I'd like you to just check in. You can do a little measurement if you'd like. I don't measure mine too much, but I know a lot of people that like to. So on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is you don't feel it at all, there's no effect, and 10 is it's just off the charts, agitation or fear or whatever, when you feel into someone saying, you're torn, or I'm torn between changing toward the things I want, changing into what I want and remaining the same. Changing into what I want and remaining the same. What's the dichotomy there for you? Is there one? And even if it's kind of on the lighter side, tap along, because this will just help bring more integration with your upper and lower chakras. Okay? It's never bad to tap. Tapping calms your entire nervous system. It makes me super trancy. So if you see me getting real trancy, that's what that's about. And trancy just means I go from the beta brain into the next level down, the alpha brain, and sometimes even deeper. All right, are you ready? We're going to start with the karate chop points and the setup statement. We're going to say the setup statement, the long one, 3 times as we tap. And then I'm going to start tapping through all the points as I just talk about only the issue. Not the whole setup statement, just the issue that I'm torn. I'm torn between keeping things the same and going for what I really want, going for what I really desire, making the changes I desire. I'm torn between those two, okay? All right, that just came out just now. That was spontaneous, so that might be the way that I word it. You ready? Here we are. We're tapping on the karate chop points. You can tap with fingers to hand, or I just like to do both hands. Both of the karate chop points. Please repeat after me. I will try to go slow enough to always let you repeat. I'm not great at this when you're not here because I can't hear you, but I'll do my best. Okay. Even though I feel torn between keeping things the same and going for what I want, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel torn between really going for what I want and keeping things the same, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel torn between going for the changes I want and keeping things the same, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, let's tap through the points. I feel torn. I feel torn between what my spirit wants and my body wants. I don't know if I should go for change or keep it like it is. Feels scary to my body when I go for change. I feel really scared when I really step into a big possible change. I notice my body just wants to keep things the way it is. I notice the part of me that wants to stay in my habit patterns. And another part of me longs to change. Another part of me really wants to expand. And I feel the part that's scared of the unknown. Or I notice I just leave my body behind. Yes, sometimes I just step into something and I can't even feel my body. I want to bring my body with me. I desire to make changes in a way that my body can integrate. I respect my body's wisdom. I respect the wisdom of my spirit. I'm excited about the possibility of creating the changes I want. If you heard there was a beep in the background, I love it. And I'm also afraid of changes. At least my body is. And I don't want to leave my body behind. I desire to honor the wisdom of my body. I desire to be fully embodied and to honor the desires of my spirit. I wonder how I can change in a healthy way. I wonder how I can acknowledge my body and my spiritual needs. It excites me to think of change with my full being. I desire to have a good relationship with my body and a good relationship with the parts of me that want to expand. I can honor smooth change. I can create change that feels comfortable in my body. I'm okay with acknowledging when my body feels fear. I'm here for my body. And as I'm here for my body feels more courage to step up. And as I'm here for my spirit has more patience for my body's pace. It's exciting to feel my body and spirit working together. It feels good in my heart to feel the integration of my body and spirit as they play together. Release your hands with your feet on the ground. Take a big deep breath from the ground all the way up to the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, just let it sift down through your body, allowing the change to take hold. And then inhale, moving from the ground up to the crown of the head. Hold it here. And then exhale, let it just sift down through your body. Yes, just like that. Let's do one more from the core of the earth. Inhale up all the way to the crown. Hold it. And now like a warm bath, just let it sift through your body. Check in. How do you feel? I feel pretty trancy. I really get this way from tapping, and it's why I'm such a fan of tapping. I feel more embodied. I feel my feet on the floor more, and I feel more smiley, just like hard to get rid of the smile. It feels good. I hope it feels good for you, and please know that you can continue to tap through as many rounds as you like. With tapping, I do recommend that if you begin to feel you're really, really trancy and you need to go do something, you need to drive or do something, be aware of that, okay? Because it can be dangerous if you get in too much of a trance state when you're going to go out and drive or do something that really needs your conscious attention. Okay, well, thank you, dear one, for being on this journey with me today. It's been a lot of fun. I've been wanting to share this with you for a while. I hope you've enjoyed the tapping, and I hope you'll come tap with me at circlingspace.com or come do any of the other circles. We have body expression circle. We have these beautiful reflection circles where we focus on one beautiful being. And we have fundamentals if you want to come learn about our principles. And I'll leave the video for you on our principles below as well. That's it for this week. I hope you have a super integrated week where you really can feel both your body and spirit dialoguing about your life, about the embodiment of the changes that are happening for you right now. And I'm sending you so much love.